Good morning, guys, and welcome to Ride VIP the Ratchet channel. My name is Serge, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about jobs, gigs, and thinking about like how we sometimes think like grass is greener on the other side, but it's really not. With that being said, guys, I'm on my way to work, sitting in this lovely traffic here at 7:21 a.m. And I'm like, I don't have my GPS on. I don't even know how far away I'm from work, but I know I'm going to make it in time because I gave myself an hour and 30 minutes for a drive that normally takes an hour. So, with that being said, let's continue. So, in the recent videos, I have let you guys know what exactly I make per hour at the current job. And the amount right now, it's very similar to what you can make with Uber or Lyft. Unfortunately, that's just the case right now for skilled labor. That makes me kind of like think sometimes like, okay, I hope I got a plan, because technically, let's say if this income like per hour was not really increasing, then yeah, it's gonna be like sort of like I tied myself down, right? Then it means I do not have the ability to really do things that I want to do when I want to do it, because that sort of comes with freedom. And something that I've talked about before is, freedom. And working for Uber and Lyft allows you lots of freedom. So like you could work as much as you want to. Well, you could also double up, obviously. So you have like lots of choices there. And you work when you want to, and then the days you want to take off, or you want to take off from work right now, you can. That's just how like being a contractor works. There's certainly things that I dislike about Uber and Lyft when it comes to manipulating drivers to working longer hours just so they could get paid more money. And it sounds like a great thing, but it's really not, because they're underpay us. Now we have to drive longer for more hours, double lapping, just so that we could make the same what we used to make when, or close to it anyways, before they messed with the price manipulation. And it's just happening more and more today, because really, what is our income as Uber and Lyft drivers really mean? Like, what are we really getting paid? It's all over the place. There's no consistency with that since they went to the new pay model, where they just pay you what they want, really. So I know like some places there's like no upfront fares, but at least when that was the case, you already knew what you're gonna get paid, like, because you were getting paid per mile, per minute, right? So you knew, based on the car that you drove, you're gonna make an X amount of dollars. But you did know your deadhead miles are not going to get covered. So like that's the only difference. But now they say like, okay, like here's $10. This is for the whole thing. And then when you look at the miles, from pickup and delivery, and you look at that as a whole, you're like, well, that's not good. This is paying me 65 cents a mile. And what does that mean? Well, when you do your taxes and you write off all of your miles, that's exactly what you get to write off. Actually, you get to write off like 65.5 cents. It might be even more when it comes next year. And we're so close. And that's because inflation. Things are getting way more expensive. So technically our income should have went up with these inflations, but they haven't. Sure, the prices went up for the riders, but it did not really go up for the drivers. And that's what I was like talking about like in the recent videos, that a couple of years ago when I started, I could just go out there, work for 4 hours, make $100. If I decided to stay 12 hours, I make $300. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, after fuel, I still got some money left. So that still felt quite decent. But I started getting out there and making 200, 180, 250 for putting in the same amount of time. I'm like, it's not good. And I'm talking gross here. I'm talking gross. This is before fuel. because after fuel, you already know it's going to be a lot less depending on what vehicle you drive. But telling you the gross amount kind of relates to all of us, because depending on your vehicle, you could relate. You're like, yeah, I'm making, let's say, like $250 or $300 a day, and then depending on the vehicle, you have a certain vehicle expense. Maybe it's a car payment, but really low cost of fuel, or maybe you got no cost of payment, but your fuel is real expensive, kind of like in my case. But with that being said, guys, now that it's winter time, and I'm like, man, I hate the cold. Like right now, it's outside like 41, but it actually was much cooler than, I think it was like 35 this morning. So it's like really cold, and I hate working in the cold. And I'm thinking like, man, I really hope they keep our shops warm. And yesterday I talked to one of the co-workers, and I'm like, it's getting cold. How is it in here? Like, is it warm? He's like, yeah, they actually keep it like nice and warm inside. So I'm like, good, because I would hate to work in a cold. Same thing for the heat. It's just when it's so cold, your hands are just like freezing. You almost got to stand by the heater, heat up a little bit and work. And in a cold, well, you just drink, I guess, lots of water. That's about it. Like, if there's a fan going in some shops, that's a plus. But some shops that don't even have, like, I'm not talking about my dealership, but some shops do not even have like a fan. Or maybe for the heat, they just got a wood burning stove. And it might sound like it's old school, but no. That exists right now. There's a wood burning stove in some shops. You gotta put some wood in it. I mean, I guess nothing wrong with that, but still, you don't put no wood in there, you don't get no heat, So I guess it's kind of like a luxury. You're just able to turn on the furnace, and now, things are warming up. So why am I bringing up the winter time? Well, if you're just doing rideshare, you're kind of like sitting in your car, and if you got like a good car that has heat and everything, you're able to work, and like the same conditions year round. You're able to keep the car cool, you're able to warm it up in the wintertime and just work and have the freedom, and that's kind of good. To be honest, I missed that a little bit, and you probably get that from this video, because I'm kind of thinking like, now I'm like, hey, what if I want to travel? Like, what if I want to go here or there? How will that work? I'm starting to think about the days off, or I haven't even talked to them about anything. I mean, I just got hired, so I mean, I'm not going to be talking about like taking some time off, And by the way, for any of you guys that did not get it yet, or maybe you're just watching this for the first time, you could see I'm dressed in kind of like mechanics clothes. And that's because I'm a service technician at Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and they say Ram for a reason. I don't know if they're trying to make Ram its own brand, and Dodge its own brand, but it used to be like Dodge Ram, So it's kind of like two, or maybe Ram is their way of saying like it's performance, or maybe Dodge is performance. You know how the AMG would be and stuff like that. Maybe they're trying to do that. I still don't get it. I just know that usually when it says Dodge, they have like a couple red lines, meaning performance. And some of those cars are very expensive. Like we got one over there, that's a drag pack. It's $250,000. And actually, if you watch the last video, that is that gray car that I recorded like in a long ways like that. And I'm like, dang, for a Charger, 250 grand. But I mean, that's a drag pack. Not street legal. You can tell it's got like no mirrors in and stuff. Brand new car you can get and take it out to the drag, to the drag races. But anyways, I'm a little bit chilly right now, to be honest, because I don't know why, but the heat, well, I know why, but I don't know why this is happening with this vehicle, but I do not have any heat in the car. Of course, I installed a thermostat a while back. Everything's good with that, because for a while, like in the summertime, I was driving without a thermostat, and I was monitoring my temperatures. I have a special, gauge that monitors temperatures electronically, and they were actually right about the same as they are now with thermostat installed. As a matter of fact, it's actually being cooled down a lot better with a thermostat, surprisingly. Who would have thought, right? Because you would think you put a thermostat in there and things are just free flowing and it's supposed to cool things down a lot better, but according to my readings, it's cooling down a little bit better now. It could also maybe because I'm using radiator fluid instead of water, that could be the factor. But anyways, with that being said, this is gonna be a very unique situation. I'm either gonna really like it, working in the shop in the winter time, or I'm gonna really hate it because it's gonna be cold. But then I'm like asking myself, like, okay, well, if it would not be me working in a shop right now, right? Where would I be working? Since I work for myself. And the most logical answer would be I would just be doing like lots of Uber and Lyft. But then you might be thinking like, well, aren't you like business minded and you like to create like businesses and have that? Yeah, that's true. But when it comes to that, like, okay, like what kind of business are we talking about? Like, oh, is it fixing cars? Well, I gotta fix them outside. I'm gonna hate fixing them outside in the wintertime. This is why I need a shop that probably will use like an oil heater, like a used engine oil heater. Probably build one of those. Those are fairly easy to build. So I'd probably do that. But I don't have that right now. What about like eBay? Well, I got a space. I built myself a space for eBay. Right now I'm using it for my other automotive parts and some of the other stuff. But I do actually have a space for eBay. I got some shelves. I got everything. I need to build one more space, which I'm kind of thinking, technically this Saturday, I should be doing it. But at the same time, this Saturday, I should put my Chrysler 300 together. And you might be wondering, didn't you say you were going to do it back then? Yes, I was gonna put it together because I painted it. Now it's simple. I just gotta throw on front headlights, rear taillights, front bumper. It's fixed. It's just not rocket science. But here's the problem. I plan to do that, right? And I get off of work, like for instance, yesterday I got off at like almost 6 p.m., almost 6. And that's because I was finishing up a car. It needed to get done for the custom pickup in the morning. So that means I still gotta drive home hour and a half, and then right after I get off work, I still gotta drive, and I'm getting stuck in traffic because it's Charlotte, So it takes me to get home. I think I got around home like 7:30ish. It started to get like dark when I got home, and my wife is like, "Why are you coming home so late?" Like no, But of course, it's getting darker sooner, that kind of thing. But that means once I make it home, like that's it. I also got classes right now, which if they let me take classes inside of my work environment, which yesterday I did not take any classes, but I'm basically taking a course that I gotta finish, like a level 1 course, and I guess that would be like a test. I gotta finish that, and technically I should be working on it at home. But when am I going to work on it? Like by the time I make it home at 7:30, take a bath, it's already like 8. And then my wife is like, well, we need to spend time together, So, that's not that I don't want to, it's family that you got to do what you got to do, So it's kind of like, I remember a while ago when I was working like Uber and Lyft, some of you guys were saying like I'm working like way too many hours, like what about family, that kind of thing. But guys, technically nothing has changed. So with having a full-time job, I am now working from 8 in the morning till 5, right? That's a set schedule. And right now I'm actually about to get ready to make it to work. So right now it's 7:35. So about 5 miles away here. Well, not 5, like not even 5 minutes. But anyways, my work is basically down the street. So I usually come to work 20 minutes or 15 minutes before it starts, and come in, clock in, and start working. And then I could get off after 5. It might be 5:30, it might be 5 o'clock. Could be even 6 o'clock when I get off. Of course, I could get all kinds of overtime. They don't limit us, so I'm not staying there longer because of the overtime. I'll tell you what, like working like at a shop, you're doing like mechanical work and stuff like that. You're constant on the floor, and I have to like remove like big heavy tires and like all kinds of stuff. I'm just saying, like there's like lifting involved. There's like all kinds of stuff, and a lot of it's like backbreaking work, and you really get a workout in, like even like a yoga exercise, because you got to get in all these weird positions just to remove a bolt or install it back. But anyways, with that being said, after work I really don't feel like doing nothing else, because you know how they used to say like 9 to 5, because that would technically make 8 hours, but I'm working like 8 to 5. So I'm working like 9 hours a day, and then hour and 15 minutes commute each way. So what is that? Like 11 hours already, like 11 hours and 30 minutes. So technically I'm still working 12 hours, give or take. But when I was doing rideshare, when I start working like at the very first hour, I mean I come online like right away. So if I get something, I get something. And I start driving towards Charlotte, right? So it seemed like I was commuting and kind of like almost kind of like pointlessly. But it was all kind of like part of the job. And sometimes I would work 12 hours. Usually it would be like right around like 14 hours that I would work. Just because 12-hour shift, like hour each commute. But sometimes that commute resulted in a ride, if that makes sense. That's what I'm trying to say. So right now, these hours that I'm commuting are not really paying me anything. I mean, well, they're not. Because Charlotte, early in the morning, it's trafficy. So even though I would like to take somebody and maybe make somebody in this direction, I really won't, because it means I could be late to work. And because I'm so punctual, I'm just not going to do that at a cost of me not making any extra money. And on the way back home, like yesterday, I wanted to work, and then I'm like, well dang, like I'm like so tired from work, physically, mentally. This is like exhausting. Then I'm thinking, like, do I really want to work right now? And the answer is no. I did not want to work. So I just went home, because that's already enough, like, right? Like 12 hours is enough. And plus, I came in early, right? I came in at 7:30 and I left almost 6 p.m. So like, look, that's already like plenty of time. So I'm thinking, well, how much am I getting paid? I mean, if I'm just getting paid for my 9 hours, which I did not even clock out for lunch, so I'm actually getting that. Surprisingly, that's how it works here. But yeah, but anyways, I'm at work. I'm gonna go ahead and get going. Um, but yeah, I guess the final thing I want to say, like, technically, by me getting this job, I did not win anything. The only thing that I'm winning is I'm getting the training, I'm getting the knowledge, I'm really putting myself through the paces and everything. That means I'm gonna know this better. So when it comes time for me to open up my own shop, and technically mine's open, I do accept clients, and I just recently finished up a job, got paid really good money, and like that will allow me to just be like, like solid, like as far as a foundation. So that would be good for me in that direction, and being able to challenge myself here, this will be working out good for me. Or if I choose to work in an automotive setting like this could open up all kinds of opportunities, because I can work for other shops, or I could work for this one when they come to Lancaster. And I may take that opportunity, because I'm not gonna have to commute while I'm growing my own shop. Like, I need to be able to build it, set it up, everything how I want to, and then just transfer all my tools to my shop. I mean, I have tools, but I'm just saying, and build customers as I'm going along, and then that will turn into my own shop that will have work. Because right now I accept clients. I need to check my emails because I have a bunch of people begging me to work on their vehicles. on sprinter vans, because not a lot of people know how to work on them, and I do. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.